Hey, what's up? Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 1986 cult classic musical horror film that it is, The Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors. This is based off of the 1960 film of the same name, Little Shop of Horrors. Afterwards, there was a off-Broadway show. Then there was an off-Broadway show. Then there was a Broadway show. And then there was a revamp of the Broadway show in like the early 2000s, which I saw, and I was very happy to see it. But my mom went to see it in the 80s. When it was on Broadway, when it was off Broadway, and she sells the original playbill, which I think is pretty cool. Like, Little Shop runs in our veins. This 1986 movie is directed by Frank Oz, the Muppet master that he is. Rick Moranis plays Seymour. Carl Bourne, Ellen Green plays Audrey 1. Vincent Gardenia, he's in this as well. So, Jim Henson's company made the Audrey prop, Audrey 2 plant. Now, the story is in the not so distant past, they're in New York City, basically. Did they say New York City? It's a city, but you know it's New York. Skid Row Florist is owned by Mr. Mushnick. Mr. Mushnick adopted Seymour Kronborn when he was a kid. He kind of took him in from a wayward boy's, home. Audrey is a associate who works at the florist along with Seymour. She lives across the street from the florist. She is dating Warren, who is a dentist, who is played by Steve Martin in this film. He's a very sadistic dude. We'll put it that way. He's a whole solo about his sadism and how he enjoys causing things pain. Pain. Son, be a dentist. Okay. I might be singing a lot randomly throughout this review. So Rick Moranis plays an incredible Seymour Krelborn. So Seymour is a botanist, and he finds a strange and unusual plant. Oh, Trisha. Oh my God, why can't I remember her name? She plays Tina in The Neighborhood currently. Her name is escaping my mind. She has an amazing singing voice. Absolutely amazing singing voice. She was in this film as one of the 3 Skid Row girls. Incredible. So, Seymour finds a strange and unusual plant at the old Chinese man's flower shop during the solar eclipse. During the total eclipse of the sun. Bing. And the Chinese man sold it to Seymour for $1.95. $1.95? I think it was $1.95. And so he's trying to see what will the plant grow with. I've given you levels of moisture from desert to mud. I've given you grow nights and mineral supplements. What do you want from me, blood? And then he cuts his finger on thorns. He goes, damn roses, damn thorns. And he starts sucking his finger. And then the plant goes. And then Seymour's like, all right, so this one drop won't kill you. So he gives him a couple of drops, and the plant then starts to grow. So then Seymour's like, oh shit, I gotta give him blood. So he names the plant Audrey 2, after Audrey 1, of course, because he loves Audrey. And he doesn't like how Warren is treating Audrey, because he's slapping her around, and she doesn't defend herself, and it's this thing. So eventually, Seymour goes to try to kill Warren, and Warren is addicted to gas. So he puts the gas mech on the nitrous gas, and he, gets stuck, so he dies. And then Seymour winds up feeding him to the plant. And then the plant gets bigger, and then Seymour's now offered all these different things. He's offered television shows, and he's offered magazine articles, and all these things. Radio shows. But he still loves Audrey, so now Audrey and Seymour can finally be together. Suddenly Seymour. Right? Okay, that wonderful song that it is. So they sing in an abandoned, burnt-down building, which is gorgeous. They're planning their lives together. The business is booming. And then eventually Mushnick realizes, that Seymour fed the plant Warren. And he's like, all right, I'm going to give you money. You get out of town or we're going to the police together. And the plant winds up eating Mushnick. And then the story progresses, and then the plant winds up trying to eat Audrey. But then Seymour saves Audrey, and then the plant winds up tearing the building down and then dies. And then at the very, very end, we see Seymour and Audrey living happily somewhere that's green. Okay. And we pan down, and there's a tiny little Audrey plant right at the bottom. That's how this movie ends. I don't know, honestly, how the original movie ends, the 1960 movie, but I know that there's different versions of the Broadway musical. The 2004 Broadway musical, I think it was 2004, ends with the plant eating everyone, with Audrey dying because Audrey 2 attacked her, and then she's singing, if I'm a part of the plant, that I can be, you know, there for you always, or something like that. And then she says, somewhere that's green. And then Seymour puts her into the Audrey, and then there's this whole thing, and then Seymour winds up just giving in and letting himself get eaten by the plant. And then there's a massive musical number with everybody's heads as little spores of the plant singing. So there's different versions of Little Shop of Horrors, but the 1986 version is very specific with Audrey survives, her and Seymour live happily ever after. No. What's the song? Big, enormous 12-inch screen. Okay. That's the Somewhere This Green song. So it's interesting knowing that there's different versions of the story, but this particular version, the Frank Oz version, has Audrey surviving and Audrey and Seymour living happily ever after. I think it's cute. But I also love the Broadway musical where everybody dies. So it's a caveat. It's a duality of the story. I love it. I love the duality of Little Shop of Horrors. It's great. We'll have to talk about the musical at one point. The Broadway musical at one point. So this film is epic. I saw a director's cut interview thing, you know, a while back with my family. It was epic. One audience member just kept singing constantly, which is annoying just because, like, you go to watch a special edition of a movie and, like, you know all the songs and stuff, but, like, sing them to yourself. Don't sing them out loud. Don't belt them out loud where it's like a pain in your ass, you know, like you can do that at your own time. Like you can sing by yourself. Like this is not a sing-along. If this was a sing-along, it'd be totally different. This ain't no sing-along. This is a special edition movie. So whatever. C'est la vie. It is what it is. Yeah. Love this movie. A fun fact about this film. This film was filmed during the same time one of the James Bond movies in the 1980s was filmed. Both were filmed on a set in London. I don't know the name of the studio, but some of the street scenes that we see, like buildings and walkways and stuff like that, are the same buildings and walkways and stuff like that that we see in both the James Bond movie that was filmed and Little Shop of Horrors. So that's a little fun fact on your trivia front for your cinema. So, yeah. Little Shop of Horrors. Love it. I got the soundtrack in my car. Blast it all the time. It's on Amazon Music, actually, right now. Go listen to it. Right now. Amazing. Feed me, Seymour, feed me now. Excuse me. Feed me, Krellborn, feed me now. I gotta eat. Speaking of feed me, I gotta feed me. Mucho mahalo.